Hey, what's up guys? So, as promised during the unboxing of the Pier Anafi, we are going to see how simple the setup is. So instead of using the phone, I figured I'd give us a bigger screen to look at overall. So what I did is I went ahead and opened up the Parrot Freeflight 6 app as seen up here. It asked me what type of permissions I wanted to allow for it as far as location services. And I just said only while using the app. Here's their terms of use. You know, you can always go through and read those. Most people just click, I accept. We've accepted. Okay, so then you come to this page. I've already went ahead and registered. So let's go ahead and get logged in. All right, so then after you log in, you get to this page that says, hey, do you want to share your data in order to help the flying community of Parrot? You can check yes, or you can check no. We're going to select no. Ta-da, successfully registered. Okay, so you can now configure your drone for an optimal flight experience. So let's go ahead and configure now. Let's just say I have a controller. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get in our nifty bag over here. And again, like everything's fully charged up. So we will go ahead and turn on the controller like so. Number one. Okay. Step number two. So this is utilizing a USB-C for this. So we'll use one of the provided USB-C deals. Let's see if that flips. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and flip that over. And then one thing I forgot to mention during the unboxing is these two ports in the back. So your USB-A port is for connecting your device only. The USB-C is only for charging. So just make sure you remember that and you bring along the correct peripheral cable. Okay, so that's connected, and then we will connect this. All right, so connected, and then finally turn on the drone. So we'll break out the Anafi real quick. Go ahead and push this stuff off to the side, and we will go ahead and turn the drone on. First, okay. Uh-oh. No, I don't want you turned on just yet. No. Let me do. I know. Okay, so power button is right where you would normally want to hold it in order to turn on the drone. And I didn't even get to take the cap off. Come back here. Okay, so this one says, hello, we need to update your device. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, it's still moving, so I won't even worry about it. So this is actually going by relatively quick, so we'll see how fast this actually goes. The Anafi camera is still moving all the way around and stuff. Update and reboot. So it looks like everything's doing its own thing right now. Use the controller to fly further and improve your maneuverability. Save your photos in DNG format, which is ideal for professional post-production. So it gives you some nice little tips and tricks on the advice as the controller is being prepared. I wonder if this thing will let me take off this lens cap now. Okay, cool. It did. Don't want to lose that, so I'll just set it over there. All right, now the update and the reboot is done, so we can go ahead and click continue down here. Uh-oh. So now it's got to do whatever for the drone as well. So this is just sending it over to the drone. I'm guessing via Bluetooth, via Wi-Fi. I know instead of using radio frequencies for the Anafi for flying, it actually utilizes Wi-Fi. So I'm guessing it's using its own proprietary Wi-Fi services in order to send this update to itself. And we're not getting any more advice anymore. I want more advice. Tell me, Parrot, tell me, how can I do better at flying my drone? So I will say, as far as, okay. Oh, I'm guessing it just rebooted itself a little bit. I'm not entirely sure why it just cut out everything, but that's fine, I suppose. Anyways, as we're just waiting here for this to reboot, one thing that I didn't really cover too much, or I don't think at all during the unboxing, is, we'll get in here a little closer, is you can see these tiny little, I think they're Allen wrenches, or no, hex bit screws. That's what holds in each one of the blades on the Anafi. So as opposed to some of the DJI drones where you just push down, rotate them, and they're off, and then vice versa to get them back on, these actually will require a little bit of work in order to remove and replace them. So keep that in mind. Okay. It's doing its little dance thing. Oh, camera's moving. All right. Just waiting. So many lights. Okay. So it looks like everything is done now. So we'll go ahead and click continue. I don't know why these blades on here are spinning. Please don't take off in my face. All right, so we'll go ahead and hit continue. All right, so this says to update the battery. What? For an optimal flight experience, we are going to update the drone's battery. The update requires your drone to be connected to a power supply and should remain plugged into the power supply throughout the whole procedure. Okay, so we got to go get a power supply, so I'll be right back. All right, so we've got our power supply here, and we will go ahead and plug it in. Remember, this is a USB Type-C, and as soon as that gets plugged in, almost immediately it came up here for me to go ahead and click continue. Now, the only thing that I don't know is if I'm going to have to do this for each and every single battery. I guess time will tell, and I will give an update as soon as I find that out. And then another thing to note as far as these batteries go is that after 12 days, if they haven't been utilized at all, they go into what Parrot calls winterize mode, or winter mode, or something like that. Anyways, essentially what it does is it discharges the battery over a 48-hour period down to 65%, and then just basically shuts itself off. I think the thinking behind that is, in order to make these batteries last longer, they need to stay, if they're not being utilized for a long time, in between 40 to 70% battery charge. So that gives it right at its peak. It's I guess its maximum ideal charge amount for storing your batteries. So just keep that in mind, because if you don't plug in your battery before going out and flying this thing, if it's been 12 days or more, then you can't turn on your battery, you can't turn on the drone, and then you'll end up, unless you have I guess one of the good things about these, since it is a USB-C connection as opposed to like proprietary chargers, such as like the DJI Pro and Pro 2, you could just connect it real quick in your car and maybe save yourself a trip from going home. But that is something to think about, and also something to note, because it was kind of almost alarming when the first time I heard it. I was like, what in the world? Like, what is happening? These things sound like they have tiny little speakers all in it. And so the camera's still going, even though it's just updating the battery. Okay, so battery is done now. Continue. Battery update succeeded. If you have other batteries, please update them as well. Okay, so we won't even worry with that right now. So everything looks pretty laid out if we wanted to just go straight into flying. So the camera is already up in the background over here. I can see it, and you can probably see my hand just a little bit waving back and forth in there. I know, what is this? Error. SD card is not formatted. Please tap to format SD card. Okay, you will have to format that. So, but luckily it's right here in the settings. So we'll go ahead and do that. So full formatting if there's writing problems, and quick formatting recommended. Yep, quick is good. Yep, there's nothing on the card, so nothing will be lost. Format. Okay, so, and almost done. Perfect. All right, so no media. It's good because there wasn't anything on there. No media on there. All right, so everything's set up. Now we're popping a warning for the drone itself. And it looks like there needs to be some type of drone calibration. This short operation will allow you to fly outside. Okay, calibrate it. Please don't fly, please don't fly, please don't fly. Turn the drone around on the Z-axis. The Y-axis. And the X-axis. Okay. Says it's ready to fly now. And then we'll do a camera calibration. We'll just do gimbal calibration. Yep, it's on a still surface, and tap OK. And then we should start seeing that move a little bit. Yep, seeing it move right now. Ooh, look at it tilt all the way up. Okay, cool. All right, so that was the reasoning why that was popping up. So one thing that you can do if you know for a fact that you're not going to have internet of any type, is you can go ahead and load a map where it says load map. So we just click on that. Comes up here, prepare a map, use this tool. We want to go to, I don't know, Orlando. Why am I passing all this? Why is Orlando not? There it is. All right. I don't know where exactly like Disney World and all that stuff is down here, but we'll just say, let's say that we want to go to Clear Lake. Looks like it's probably a decent spot. We'll say here, Lake Man. Let's do them all. Let's do them all. We got Lake Man, Sunset Lake, Clear Lake. Prepare the map. Right, and so it's getting all the snippets of the area. Okay, cool, and ready to fly that area. So boom, that's how easy it is. So if you know where you're going, just go ahead and do that just in case. That's probably the best thing to do. Gallery, again, we don't have anything on there yet. Tutorials, see what we have here. So there are a lot of tutorials. Checklists, making sure right before you fly. It's always a good thing for the drone to unfold all the legs. So that's probably a really good feature if you're trying to figure out a bunch of different things. So this actually goes through each one of the flight modes as well, so that's cool. Panamera. Sorry guys, I was watching videos on the Porsche Panamera earlier today. Panorama. So you have horizontal, vertical, 360. One thing that you can do with the 360, which is what I love, I wish I could zoom in on this, so I'll just get a little bit closer, is you can do tiny planets, or little planets. It looks like you can do tunnels for the skies just right there. But anyways, these are pretty cool little features, and we'll get into those when we start actually flying this thing around. But it is an absolutely cool thing to be able to do on here. And then finally we have the in-app shop. So a lot of people wonder why that they are having to purchase extra apps or extra flight modes when they've already spent a handful of dollars on the drone itself. So one thing for Follow Me, there is actually another flight mode in here that's similar to Follow Me called Cameraman, and we'll try to distinguish the differences on that. I think the majority of the difference is for Follow Me, it's where this controller is, where you are, as opposed to with Cameraman, you just select your object and it'll follow that object, whether it's got a controller or not. And then Flight Plan, it's kind of an iffy one, mainly because of the fact that this doesn't have any type of sensors in it. It could get interesting if you're flying around like power lines or like taller trees, or like trying to maneuver around different things. So also keep that in mind. But these are the ones that you can buy. So for Follow Me, it's buy for 99 cents. Some people were saying on reviews that I've seen, it's been like $18 for this as opposed to $1. That's kind of crazy to me, just the price difference. But it kind of goes through each one of these. So we'll see what the difference is with all of these, but at $1 a piece, and same thing with Flight Plan, it's only $1. But yeah, some people were saying even that, and let's see how easy this is to buy. All right, so that was super simple, really easy to purchase these, and now it's in there. So let's see what happens when we click on fly. Hopefully this thing doesn't take off. I don't think it will. Right now we've been talking about this and everything else for quite a while, and we're still only at 95%, so that's good. I've got the controller plugged in right now still, just so that way it stays charged. So let's click on fly. That's all you have to do. So with hand launch, you can tap on hand launch and launch it straight from your hand. Not really. So you just hold it, I guess, like so, and then it'll blast off into the atmosphere. Yep. Wait 2 seconds for the motor to start up. Enable hand launch. Yeah, why not? I don't feel like launching it right now. So right now it gives me my area that I'm at here. We've got all of our details for the drone up top right now. You got takeoff there. So presets. So we got film, sport, cinematic, racing. The only two that I've seen before have been film and sport. So it's kind of nice. What happens when you click on racing? Ooh. Let's not do that. And then you also have classic and arcade style controls. I don't know what all that entails. And right now we are in record mode, and then you can just select this and go into straight picture mode. So that's kind of cool as well. And then it's super simple. Either tap there, or if you want, you can hit this button on the controller to start recording, and I think that also helps to take a picture. But again, I'm not going to do a whole lot inside because that just seems like a terrible idea. We're just kind of going through the app itself right now and see what we have. Okay, so you had your presets over here. I know I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. We'll finish on this side now. So for your flight modes, you just have your manual flight, which is just flying the thing around. Cameraman, that gives you your detail to double tap, select a person or a car, or you can select an object drawing a rectangle around it. So that's kind of cool. Follow Me. Okay, so we're inside, so we don't have any of the GPS stuff, so we can't utilize that. So it does go off of GPS for that. Smart dronies, can't do that. FPV, we didn't get the FPV drone, so we probably don't have that. All right, so you just tap your places that you want to go, and that's how it's done. Okay, and then Cineshots. So this is where you have your 360. I don't know what reveal is, spiral, epic. So we're gonna get into all of these when we start flying this thing around, so not to worry there. And then as far as video mode goes, we've got standard, cinema, hyperlapse, slow motion, and high frame rate. Again, we'll get into those when we start flying this thing around. And then if you want to switch around like a few of the camera settings, so if you want HDR, you just click the HDR button and boom, automatically brightens everything up, and take it off and dims everything back down for the most part. So, and then you can come in here, change whether or not you want 4K, 2K essentially, and 1080p, and how many frames per second. So this is 4K at 30 frames per second, or you can drop it to 25 or 24 frames per second. I don't know what the difference is for one frame a second at 24 and 25 frames per second. So if you know and like know what the benefits are from it, let me know in the comments below, because that is actually kind of strange if you ask me. 2.7, same thing, 24, 25, 30 frames per second, and 1080p. I thought that they had it where you could do up to 60 frames per second, but I guess not. Again, it's 24, 25, and 30. So why not do 4K if you're not losing it out on any of the frames per second? So it's pretty nice. So we'll come back over here. Let's say we want to go to cinema mode. Yeah, nothing happens there. Hyperlapse. Okay, so you do have a couple different things here. So you can go from times 15 all the way up to times 240 for your rate. So that's pretty quick. Slow motion, either a quarter of the speed or half the speed, and high frame rate is where you can switch from 30 to 60 frames per second, but only in 1080p. Or you can go to 720p and get 120 frames per second. So that's pretty cool, I guess, that you can do that. It'd be nice if you could do the 60 frames per second in 4K, but that's not an option here. Again, it's not necessarily needed either. So but yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Here it is, all unbundled and ready to fly. I'm gonna take this off my head now. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this. I know this is the first time that you see me during this video, but I wanted to show you guys all the goods first, and then the goods afterwards. Anyways, thanks for watching this, and I can't wait to get out and fly it and show you guys even more of what this thing can do, and I can't wait to start implementing it into some of the future projects that we have planned so far. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye.